was a young man, I had the answers to life's game. When I was a young man, I bore the consequences and the shame. I got a little older, I took a good look at myself. I got a little older, then put the bottle back on the shelf. I got a little older, I put away those childish games. I got a little older, well I got a little older. Things in life will change you, there ain't nothing you can do. Many people will come this way, never to find out what is true. Things in life will change you, there ain't nothing you can do. Many people will come this way, never finding what is true. I got a little older, I took a good look at myself. I got a little older, then put the bottle back on the shelf. I got a little older, I put away those childish things. I got a little older, well I got a little older.
MaxSpeedTV would like to thank our partners here at MaxSpeedTV, starting with Colby Eye Paints. If you're in the market for a new paint job for your car, check out Colby's Eye Paints on Facebook. Need a replica paint of your real-life car? Colby's Eye Paints has you covered. Check out Colby Eye Paints on Facebook. Also by Hershey Design. Hershey Design Company is your one-stop graphics shop if you're in need of an iRacing paint league team or business logo, or want the logo on some sweet swag. Hit up Orion at the Hershey Design Company. You can find them on Facebook by searching HERSHY Design Company. Also by the Sim Speed Shop, simspeedshop.com. You can check them out for all your iRacing sim needs. Ohio IndyCar League jumping on board this season with as an official sponsor of MaxSpeedTV. They are also accepting not just patrons from Ohio, but from all over. Also, iBog for all your iRacing broadcast overlay graphics done specifically by Jason Allison, one of the masters at it. So thank you to Jason. And also, last but not least, Wise Guys. You can check them out at Reverb Nation. That is spelt with a Z. So check them out on Reverb Nation. We would like to thank all of the sponsors at MaxSpeedTV and partners.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the Hanson Starter Shop 100 at Southern National Motorsports Park, brought to you by the Coach's Corner for the Coach's Corner Pro Late Model Series, brought to you by Upstate Racing League. My name is Kelly Dahl. Alongside me, Roger Muth, and as well KR Stolfus, as always, pressing the buttons and getting the picture to you. And I'm excited for this week's race because last week we had a very exciting race, and Roger, I know you missed that one, but what are you looking forward to this week?
Well, I know we missed that one with some unfortunate circumstances, but we're here at Southern, and you know what? This track is something different. It's not going to be anything like last week. This track is going to be one hot, slick track out here tonight. We're going to be in for one heck of a treat, as they're going to be slipping and sliding all over this track.
And if you're like Roger and you missed out on last week, well, we've got a recap for you to see exactly what you missed, and it was a very exciting race, so let's take a look at that recap.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MaxSpeedTV as we are here at Irwindale Speedway for the Upstate Racing League Coach's Corner Pro Late Model Series as we do the Flo McNasty TV 100.
Green flag is going to wave, and they're going to roar off with a bit of an advantage to Sean Cool. He got a great start, nearly clearing Blake before they even got into turn number one. Starting to get into single file. Blake Neer is going to be the one to take over that second place, or at least hold on to second place. AJ Hamill slotting in between Neer and Ross. We're staying green for the time being. Blake Neer and AJ Hamill got into each other. Actually up in the front, we're actually got a battle for the race lead. Justin McDuff and Sean Cool door to door at the moment through turn number 3. Last lap, actually, Justin McDuff had the lead at the line and is going to have the lead once again, but not able to get clear of that 24 machine just yet. And just behind them, Chris Stump is taking advantage of this battle and closing up his gap to the race leaders, because McDuff, it took him a few laps to make that pass. I'd say about 4 or 5, and really working that inside line like that. Yeah, a couple drivers that have moved a lot of positions. That Matt Kocher started in 11th, up to 2nd. Brad Carpenter started 19th, up to 10th. But I think our biggest mover so far is actually tied between Brian Rogers and Andy Lambert.
Going to go way up along the walls. McDuff goes way to the bottom. Looks like they're going to pull dead even off the corner.
That's going to move the 69 machine to a very familiar position at the front of the field. For race number 2 of the season, your winner of the Flo McNasty 100 is the number 69 of Matt Kocher.
I was using the bottom, I was using the top, I was everywhere, just trying to pass people, and this track tonight was really racy, I thought.
And I come out swinging here and 2 solid efforts, and obviously with the win, and then driving up to the field tonight and get up there and lead some laps. I'm pretty happy with that.
Started kind of mid-pack last week and started mid-pack this week too, and ended up
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't miss anything other than that sweet race from last week. If you missed that, there was your update. There was your getting you up to speed. We're about to hop over to qualifying here for these guys. They got a little different format. They're going to do round or group qualifying here. You're going to have 3 cars out on track to start it off. Kelly, who do we got in the first round here of qualifying?
Group 1, just going to pull that up right now, is the 65, the 33, and the 45. So that is Jay Dubuque. The 33 is actually, don't think he is in this race, so it is just going to be Douglas Wysocki and Jay Dubuque. They're going to be taking on this first qualifying run here, and this is the hunt for the Rumar Vinyl Designs Pole Award. And that's not something that's just awarded race by race. At the end of the season, when these guys have their awards banquet, the driver with the most pole awards will receive their own Rumar Vinyl Designs plaque. So this is something these guys are going to be gunning for all season. And now Jay Dubuque is going to be the first to take the track for the night, coming around the final turn to get started on his first timed lap. And expect to see a couple of good quick times here just to start, and this track is going to be very difficult. We've talked about it a few times tonight that this track is extremely hot, extremely slippery, but Jay's going to come around the corner for the first time, get our first time up on the board. That's a 15.685 for him, and Douglas Wysocki with a 15.437.
Doug Wysocki, one to watch for tonight, as he is in your Rookie of the Year standings. Currently 15th in that standings, but he had some strong laps here in practice, so look for Doug to be pretty strong out here, as he is a short track racer himself.
Doug put a very fast time on his second run. Last week we only had fast times on the first lap. Pretty much nobody would improve their lap time on the second lap, but Doug did this time around with a 15.3, so Doug's currently going to be sitting in the hot seat. He's going to pull himself down to the end of pit road while we get ready for group number 2, and that's the 90, the 413, and the 64. So that's Matt Roll, Wayne McDuff, and I'm looking to see if we have the 64 here. I don't think we do. So it's just going to be Matt Roll and Wayne McDuff for this group number 2 here, and Matt Roll is going to be the one to lead them out onto the track. Coming now down around turns 3 and 4, and he's got a time to beat of 15.332.
Wayne McDuff out on track. Let's see what Wayne McDuff can put in his first time lap. That's going to look like to be well, it's a pretty slow one on mine. That could be wrong.
That's not his timed lap.
I was going to say, I don't believe a 32.1 is going to cut it here tonight, but Matt Roll puts in his first time. That's going to be a 15.85. But then Wayne McDuff jumps it to P1 on that lap there with a 15.277.
Yeah, much faster than his practice time. Actually, pretty decent time overall. Matt Roll going to put in a 15.481. And Wayne is going to improve his time just slightly with a 15.271. And one thing to quickly go over, there is qualifying bumping here in play. Only the top 26 times will get into the race. Anyone under the 26 fastest will be bumped and will not take part in this race. So qualifying isn't just going to set the starting grid, it's going to set the drivers that will be allowed to take part in this race. So now Wayne McDuff going to be sitting in the hot seat with a 15.271. We're going to get ready for our next group of drivers. That's going to be the 22 of Mike Holtzclaw, the number 1 of Jeremy Carpenter, and looks like as well going to be the 41 of AJ Childs.
As the 22 of Mike Holtzclaw getting out on track, getting those tires warm, see what he can put in. Once he gets up to speed, takes the green flag. As it's hot out there tonight, I'm not sure if anybody's checked out that temperature out on track, but it's currently at 116, a little bit down from what the track temp was in practice. So these guys are going to have a little bit more grip out there.
And it's not often these guys race in the sunlight. Most of these races take place at night for the Upstate Racing League, but Mike Holtzclaw going to come off of turn number 4 for his first time lap. That's going to move him up to P1 with a 15.254. Jeremy Carpenter going to be running a 3.34, and AJ Childs with a 4.18. Mike Holtzclaw now coming out of turn number 4 for the last time on his qualifying attempt. A little bit slower that time around. Now looking at Jeremy Carpenter to see if he can put something a little bit faster down. He gets a 3.08. And AJ Childs will improve as well with a 15.362. So Mike Holtzclaw is going to move up into P number 1. Group number 4 now is going to be the 42 of Brett Bartels, the 89 of Thomas Mateer, and the 02 of Josh Mayu.
.42 of Brett Bartels out there on track in that beautiful red and silver machine. As he's coming up to speed, he's running one of those Dodge Chargers out there. These guys do have a manufacturer's championship on the line here also with the Upstate Racing League. Currently, Toyota is in your manufacturer's P1 position, so let's see if Brett Bartels can do something together for the Dodge boys out here tonight.
Well, Brett Bartels puts his first time down to 15.314. Josh Mayu with a 15.537. And with another time here trying to get Thomas Mateer. I think actually did not get a clean time. Looks like he hit the wall. Now Brett Bartels going to finish his time off. Still going to stay with a 3.14. Josh Mayu will not improve either. And Thomas Mateer, just after smacking that wall in his first lap, looks like he ran with some damage, and that's going to be not the time that will might not be able to get him into the race with a 15.873. So a little bit of trouble for the 89 machine, and that might end his night early. Moving on to our next group, though, group number 5 is going to be John Minyaka in the number 3 machine. We're also going to have the number 30 of Will Dravicki and the 34 of Jeremy Watkins.
I was talking with the number 30 of Will Dravicki right before the race here tonight. He said this car was slipping and sliding all over the track. I asked him what he thought this car was going to do in qualifying. He said he didn't think he was going to put up a good qualifying attempt here tonight, but he was sure going to give it one heck of a shot, and he's just going to be looking forward to being around at the end. So first step here tonight, getting that 30 car qualified into the field.
Well, one driver that missed the field last week was the number 3 of John Minyaka in a race that he actually sponsored himself. So I'm sure he's going to try his best to get into this show this week around. Now Minyaka, though, going to come across the line after his first qualifying time with a 15.341. Will Dravicki, talking about not being fast in qualifying, he's going to move up to P number 1 with a 15.182. And Jeremy Watkins, first lap, 15.424. Minyaka now going to finish himself off, not going to improve his time. Dravicki's going to call it. He's good enough with that 15.182, and Jeremy Watkins going to not improve his time either. So with Will Dravicki, we were just talking that he said he's not going to get a very fast qualifying time. Well, right now he's sitting on top, sitting in that Rumar Vinyl Designs pole position with a 15.182, but we've still got about half the field to go. I think maybe even more than half the field, as we had, I think, 33 drivers at my last count. But group number 6, that's going to be the 96, the 61, and the 36. So that's Danny Dubuque in the 61, Mark Royer in the 36, and Al Smith Jr., the league owner himself, in the number 96. So we'll have to see which one of these guys is going to be able to bump off Will Dravicki, or just maybe even get themselves into the field. As it seems like we've had a few guys struggling with the grip here, and the wall has already claimed one car. We'll see if it claims any more.
Al Smith out there on track in that 96 Coach's Corner machine. He put in a time of 3.36 in practice right now, as he is getting up to speed, see what he's going to be able to put in, see if he's going to be able to better what he put up there in practice, as everybody seems to be running pretty even times of what they ran in practice.
Well, Danny Dubuque ran a 15.2 in his first lap. Mark Royer with a 15.4 and Al Smith with 15.3. Dubuque going to finish his last run, not going to be able to improve his time. Royer as well going to improve to a 15.419.
And look at that, a new P1. Al Smith Jr. to the top of the boards with a 15.176, a screaming lap out of the 96 machine.
And one thing I saw when these guys were going around, Danny Dubuque was struggling to keep that back end of that car behind him, looked like coming out of the fourth turn. And these guys are just struggling for grip, and the track might even be heating up a little bit as we go on through the qualifying here, as we're still getting a track temp of 116, but on the racing line that might be a little bit higher from these cars running around it. But in our next group here, that's going to be group number 7. We've got the 14 of Blake Neer, the 88 of Jake Watson, and the 11 of Brian Hacker. Hacker now coming off at turn number 4. He's leader of this group. Gonna get this group started. Green flag in the air for the number 11.
The number 11 running that very low line. Oh, it looks like he actually tapped the wall there coming out of turn 2. This lap for the number 11 is not going to count. Hopefully he can put a good lap together on lap 2 as he works off turn 4 now. As you see, no time for the 11. Blake Neer, though, out on track. Let's see where Blake comes in.
Oh, Jake Watson to the pole. Jake Watson with a 15.171. That's going to move him up to pole position for now. Blake Neer with a 15.284. Brian Hacker now hopefully kept this car clean this time around. He's going to finish with a 15.342. Watson not going to be able to improve his pole time. And looks like, I'm trying to find where our last driver went, but it looks like the 13 might have called it after one lap. Or sorry, that wasn't the 13, the 14 might have called it after one lap, but we've got a new fast time with a 15.171 for Jake Watson.
Next up here in qualifying, your next group is going to be the 24 of Sean Cool, the 13 of G-Man himself, and then the 77 of Andy Lambert.
Sean Cool going to lead this group out onto the racetrack. Going to get some heat in those tires, but with how warm this track is, I don't think that's going to take long. Those tires are probably up to temperature by the time they get off of turn number 4, and Sean Cool arcing that final corner, trying to get as much speed as possible. He hits the line for the green flag. He's got a time to beat of 15.171 set by Jake Watson in that previous qualifying group. And as we go along, these times should get faster and faster as we're running a bit of a handicap system where the fast drivers should be starting towards the back. And Sean Cool, then Guillaume Fortin just bumps him off immediately. Guillaume Fortin with a 15.139. Sean Cool with a 15.150. Sean's going to call it after that one lap. Guillaume's going to try another one and see if he's going to be able to get his time a little bit faster. He won't. And Andy Lambert, he's going to finish with a 15.213. So back-to-back new quick times with Sean Cool suddenly set down a 15.150. Then immediately after, Guillaume Fortin with a 15.139.
With the track temp being where it is, these guys are pulling off one heck of laps right now. 15.139 for G-Man on the pole right now. Sean Cool put in one heck of a time too with a 15.15. So 2 quick times right there out of that group.
That was faster. Our current pole time is faster than any time we saw in practice. Our fastest time in practice was Sean Cool with a 15.149. Now Guillaume Fortin sitting in that with that 139. Our next group, though, group number 9, Brian Rogers in the number 12, Paul Henley in the number 16, and Rex Hoyle in the number 5. Henley's going to be the leader of this. Sorry, that's going to be Rogers going to be the leader of this group. He's taking the green flag now and set a 15.2 during practice. See if he can get any faster. He's got to beat a 15.139 set by the number 13 of Guillaume Fortin. Coming around the final corner now, Brian Rogers, see where he's going to lay. 15.287 for him. Henley's going to get a 15.175. And getting a little bit mixed up here, Hoyle set down a 15.195. Now that the track's starting to heat up a little bit, it's looking like these guys aren't improving on their second laps like the first few drivers were. It seems like now in this later group, you get that first lap and then your tires are just too hot.
With the track temp rising a little bit now up to 117, so we're going to see these conditions to continue to put temperature in the track, so it's going to be hard for these guys to find some grip coming off the corner. It's just going to continue to climb.
Next group of drivers is going to be the 18 of AJ Hamill. Getting a couple of drivers coming down pit road now. It's going to be the 81 of James McIntyre Jr. and Dylan Canova in that 70 machine. AJ Hamill going to lead this group onto the racetrack. Now coming off of turn number 4 to take the green flag. He's got a time to beat of 15:139.
AJ Hamill's had a great run last week, starting in the 16th position and working his way all the way up to the 4th position. Let's see if he's at, or actually, I'm sorry, that was week 1. He started in the 16th position. Last week, he limped home for a 12th place finish. Unfortunate week for him last week, is right now he put it up to P4 with a 15.172.
James McIntyre getting a little bit of trouble, the 15.556. Dylan Canova with a decent time of 15.258. Our current bump time right now is James McIntyre. Actually, now getting James McIntyre with a bit of a faster time with 15.356 on that second lap. But our bump time now in 26th position is Josh Mayu with a 15.537. So one more time, only the top 26 in times will be able to start. So at this point, Jay Dubuque and Thomas Mateer have already been bumped. They will not take part in this race.
Going to be hard for the 02 of Mayu to hold on to that 26th position because there's nothing he can do at this point, and we got some quick guys still yet to come. We got the 20 to come. We got the 2 of Stefan Mirnak and the 69 of Kocher.
Next group is going to be the 98 and the 31, so Chris Stump and Brad Carpenter. Stump was our pole sitter for week number 1 in Iowa. We're going to have to take a look and see what he's going to be able to do here at Southern National on this hot and slippery racetrack. Coming off of turn number 4, now green flag in the air for the 98 machine. And as we said, he just has to beat a 15.537 to get himself into this race. A 15.139 to be able to sit on the pole, or at least for the time being. First lap going to be a 15.186, so a good time for Chris Stump. Brad Carpenter going to not actually be a clean lap. It seems like he scraped the wall at some point, so problems for that 31 machine. He's going to have to hope that that second lap is going to be fast enough, and Chris Stump's going to set a bit of a slower lap the second time around. Carpenter going to come across the line with a 15.326, so that is going to be good enough to get him into the race. Josh Mayu has now been bumped, and now the driver sitting in that bump position, that's Jeremy Watkins. Also, Matt Roll is another good driver that has been bumped, so Watkins now sitting on our final starting position with a 15.424, and we still have McDuff, Kocher, Marinak, and Rice to go, and all of those very fast drivers.
Fast drivers especially, watch out for that number 20 of Justin McDuff. Justin McDuff having a great start to the season as he is your points leader right now, followed by Kocher and then Mirnak. So you got your top 3 in points here, the last 3 cars trying to make the field, and pretty sure that these 3 should make the field pretty easy as they were quick in qualifying. They were in the top 10, all 3 of them.
And this should be our last qualifying group, as Tony Rice will not be making a qualifying attempt. So now just going to be McDuff, Marinak, and Kocher to go. Justin McDuff coming around the last corner on his first qualifying lap. See where he's going to wind up. It's going to be just a 15.278. That's going to be good enough to get him in the race. Marinak actually not going to be set a clean time the first time around. Kocher going to have a 15.230, and Kocher's going to call it right there. McDuff, though, he's going to send it for the next lap, only going to be a 15.239. That's going to improve, though. Marinak can only be able to set a 15.251 after invalidating his first lap time, but that is good enough to get him into the race, and that's going to bump both Jeremy Watkins, Mark Royer, and AJ Child. So our last driver to sneak in is going to be James McIntyre Jr. with a 15.356. And our Rumar Vinyl Designs pole winner, that's going to be the 13 of Guillaume Fortin.
Guillaume Fortin, he did tell me before the race here, I did speak with him also. He was one of those drivers that said he was just going to try and finish the race out, have a good night. He did actually say, though, he had a good chance of winning tonight. And while starting from the pole, that's going to give him one heck of a shot to finish the job here tonight. He only did step 1. Step 2 is to win the race.
Well, we're going to step aside for a quick moment while we get ready to go green, but when we return, we're going to get the green flag for the Hanson Starter Shop 100 for the Upstate Racing League Coaches Corner Pro Late Model Series. Don't go anywhere.
This portion of the Upstate Racing League's Coaches Corner Pro Late Model Series is brought to you by Coaches Corner. There's no place like home. Airborne Graphics, Arts Barbershop, White Knuckle Clothing, Best Colorful Creations, and Brian Rogers Motorsports, proud sponsor of the Brian Rogers Motorsports Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back to the Southern National Motorsports Park for the Hanson Starter Shop 100. We're just getting ready to go. You're going to get the drivers on the starting grid, so we're going to quickly run through your Best Colorful Creations starting lineup. Guillaume Fortin gonna run that fast time, gonna get the Rumar Vinyl Designs pole award for this week with a 15.139. Just to his outside, that's gonna be the 24 of Sean Cool. Jake Watson gonna be starting off in third. The 18 of AJ Hamill going to be on the outside in 4th. Paul Henley rolls off in 5th. 6th is going to go to the 96 of Al Smith Jr. Will Dravicki starts 7th, and 8th goes to the 98 of Chris Stump. Rex Hoyle starts off in 9th, and Andy Lambert's going to round out our top 10. Matt Kocher is going to be starting just behind them in 11th. Starting in 12th, that's going to be Justin McDuff.
Starting in your 13th spot, that's going to be the number 2, Stefan Mirnak. Starting in the 14th position, the 22 of Mike Holtzclaw. Dylan Canova in the 70s going to start in the 15th position. Starting right alongside him in 16th is going to be Danny Dubuque. Starting in the 17th spot, that's going to be Wayne McDuff. Starting in the 18th spot in the 14 machine, Blake Neer. Your 19th starting position is going to go to the 12 of Brian Rogers Jr. Number 1 of Jeremy Carpenter is going to start in your 20th position. 21st is going to be the 42 of Brett Bartels. Starting in your 22nd, the 31 of Brad Carpenter. Your 23rd position, that's going to go to Doug Wysocki in the 45. In your 24th starting position, the 3 of John Minaka. Starting in the 25th position, the 11 of Brian Hacker. And rounding out your field, starting shotgun, the number 81 of James McIntyre Jr.
Drivers that failed to qualify are the 41 of AJ Childs, the 36 of Mark Royer, the 34 of Jeremy Watkins, the 90 of Matt Roll, the 02 of Josh Mayu, the 65 of Jay Dubuque, the 89 of Thomas Mateer, and the 64 of Tony Rice. So that was your Beth's Colorful Creations starting grid. Beth's Colorful Creations is your custom cake headquarters. Need that special cake for that special moment? Then give Beth's Colorful Creations a call. The exclusive cake provider of the URL. And that's not a joke. At their annual banquet, Beth's Colorful Creations made some fantastic cakes, and we're actually going to get a fast green flag as the second the pace car rolls off. Green is in the air, and Guillaume Fortin going to go right to battle with Sean Cool. Sean trying to work that outside line right off the bat as the cars stay stacked 2 by 2, but everyone is struggling for grip. The cars are slipping and sliding all over the place, but not any driver on this field is wanting to give an inch, and Sean Cool going to win out that first lap by just a fraction of a second, but Guillaume still trying to work that inside as Sean actually gets up into the wall, so Guillaume is going to take hold of the first place position for the time being.
Guillaume now back to the point, the 24 of Sean Cool on the outside trying to hang on. It looks like the inside lane is going to be the fast lane, as now you got the 88 of Jake Watson looking to the inside of Sean Cool. Sean Cool going to be hung out to the outside. It looks like now the 24 is going to fall in line behind the 88. He's going to slot back into the 3rd position.
Yeah, it looks like Sean just lifted off the throttle for a moment to slot in behind the 88 as there was just not enough grip on that high line. He, I think, scraped the wall on the outside of turn number 2 as this track, as we've mentioned many times before, is very hot, very slick, and another thing to keep in mind is they only have this one set of tires. They cannot change tires at any point in this race, so what they started on, they have to finish on, no matter how hot and blistered those tires are going to get. And now Jake Watson putting some pressure on the 13 of Guillaume Fortin. Watson wanted to take that race lead, but just needs to find where that fast line is going to be and where that gap is going to be. We're going to go on board for this battle for the race lead with Watson, and he's trying to get around the 13. And if this was later in the race, I'd expect a bump and run, but I think he's going to keep it clean. We're only on lap 7 out of 100.
As there's a long way to go, so the 88 of Watson, he looks like he might have the faster car right now over the 13, but looks like with a long run, he's just going to fall in line, try and ride, wait for the 13 to slip up, then he's going to strike. A little back in the field just a little bit. Looks like there's a battle brewing for the 10th position. That's between the 20 of Justin McDuff and the 96 of Al Smith.
Oh, battle for the race lead now. Jake Watson going to make a move to the inside through turns 3 and 4. He's now got his nose to the inside of Guillaume Fortin. He's now going to be completely even up, and through turns 1 and 2, that inside line is going to prevail. So Jake Watson moves to the race lead. Now Guillaume getting a little bit of a bump from Sean Cool right behind him, as now Sean wanted to take a little bit of a leapfrog here to move himself up a position after losing out on that race start. But Jake Watson puts the pressure on early, moves himself up into the race lead, and now on lap 10 leads this race.
Now with Jake Watson out front, can he set sail? Can he run away from the 13 of 14? But right behind them, you still got Sean Cool in the dance. You got AJ Hamels right there, around a car length back from the 24. Those guys kind of run away right now. They got about a 2-car length lead over that 5th position of Paul Henley.
Now Jake's starting to open up a little bit of a gap to the 13 of Fortin. Not too much though, but it is at least something, and it is quite noticeable on a short track. And the other thing is, if he's pushing so hard early on, he might not have anything left later on in this race, but maybe he can hope for a caution at some point to cool those tires off, because I'm sure he heated them up a little bit as he threw it up the inside of Guillaume, but he got that pass done pretty fast. He didn't want to waste any time, knowing that anytime they're spent side by side battling, this time that's you're kind of working your tires just a little bit too much.
There's not many battles going on track right now, but you do have the 69 of Matt Kocher looking to work over the 5 of Rex Hoyer. That's the battle for the 7th into the 8th position. These guys are all nose to tail, pretty much strung out through the field. No real battles other than right there. A couple laps ago that looked like the 69 was going to get around the 5, but that kind of didn't work out for him. He fell back in line. They're just running nose to tail. Everybody pretty clean as the 69 looks like he's going to go to the inside of the 5 as they work into the corner. Now he's about up to his door. Will he have the run on the inside off the corner? Looks like the inside's still going to be the way to go. Now it looks like the 69 Matt's going to be working his way through the field. Now this 5 and the 89 make contact.
Matt Kocher just threw it really hard into turn number 3 and got up into the door of the 5, and when Rex Hoyle was recovering, he actually kind of got into the 98 of Stump just a little bit. And now we've got cars battling through the mid-pack here as a few guys are trying to get around each other. Looks like the 20 of Justin McDuff's going to take a look to the inside of the 98, but decides to stay back there. The 69, though, of Matt Kocher, now he's already got his sights set on the next car of Will Dravicki. He's going to move to the inside through the front straightaway and dive it to the inside through turns number 1. Dravicki staying a bit high, trying to dime it off the corner a little bit, at least get some sort of a run on the high side, because just that bottom side right now is just so dominant. But I'm sure in a couple laps time, this track is going to heat up on that inside line. It's going to be probably nearly impossible for those guys on the inside line.
Those guys on the inside line, are they able to take care of their tires a little better than the outside? We don't know. We do know the groove should probably move up here later on in the race, but it looks like the 30 of Will Dravicki also has a little bit of damage on that right front of that 30 machine. Should not hurt him, as this is a short track here. No aerodynamics really needed, but you also see the 69 has some damage too. So 2 damaged cars battling right there, out for the 6th and the 7th position.
And it looks like Kocher is going to finally pull ahead of Dravicki, but now Dravicki has to deal with Rex Hoyle, as Hoyle decided to just follow Kocher through and take over that inside line and keep the 30 boxed out on the high side. So Dravicki just has no daylight to the inside, because he's not only got the 5 there, but he's got the 98 right behind the 5. So if he doesn't get a fight off the Rex Hoyle, he's going to be still stuck on that high side. And now just behind him looks like the 20 of McDuff. He's going to try to make a move to the high side as well to go around the 98. He's not defending, he's trying to attack on that high side.
Right now you see the 30 of Dravicki on the outside. You also see the 20 of McDuff on the outside. Can those two make that outside work? Can they get around that 98 of Stump and the 5 of Hoyer? But those guys are battling it out. As we go on board with the 20 of McDuff, as you see him right behind the 30, it looks like just in front of them, the 5 is actually going to get around the 30 of Dravicki.
Yeah, but the 20 is working that high side to perfection, and he's going to get around Chris Stump. Just behind them looks like Steph Marinac working the high line as well around Al Smith. Al actually going to maybe lose another position as Blake Neer trying to make a move to the high side as well. Blake, I think, may have scraped the wall going down the back straightaway, but he's going to still have the momentum, still going to be able to apply pressure to that 96 machine and try to take away that 12th position. It looks like Al, big trouble for the 296. Big wiggle, and that car got all sorts of out of shape, and now Al going to regather the car, only loses 1 position to Blake Neer, and going to be able to keep himself going. And now it looks like another car getting loose. That's the 98 of Chris Stump going to get loose on the inside, and now we see that this track is getting much more difficult.
Much more difficult for those guys that are battling back in the pack, but out front you still got the 88 of Watson, you still got 13 of G-Man running in the 2nd position, and Sean Cool just riding there, being cool in that 3rd position. They have worked their way, those top 3 are away from AJ Hamels, who's running in the 4th position. They pulled a 2-second lead over 4th place right now, as you see the 13 kind of slipping off the corner, kind of losing the 88. Now 88's kind of pulled away about a car length.
Looking a little bit further up, Will Dravicki now fighting on off the 20, and just in front of them, actually, the 16 and the 69 going side by side. Paul Henley and Matt Kocher fighting for that last top 5 position, and this Matt Kocher would be the first car inside of the top 5 to start outside of the top 5, as now he's trying to work that inside line, and he is starting to get a bit of an advantage over the 16, but Henley's not going to give up this spot without a fight. He's going to make that 69 car work for it, and Henley getting a little bit loose, almost looked like, on the high side through turn number 4, but he is able to get a good run off the corner. Now off of turn number 2, he is going to have an advantage, and he's going to get clear of the 69 machine, so now it's starting to look like that outside line might be the line to be at.
Next question you got to ask yourself, has the 69 there? Did he use his tires up? Because he started back in the 11th position, now running 5th. He's still working over the 16, trying to find a way. That time it looked like he was going to go to the outside, but the 16 slammed the door once they got back to the straightaway. This time at the line, you see the 69 right up on the bumper. Not sure what happened to the leader, as the 13 of Guyz is not currently in the lead. It looks like he's fallen all the way back to about the 26th position. Not sure if he's still on the track. I'm not pulling a mile per hour or any indication that he's out there turning laps yet.
It looks like he may have lost connection, and there's the confirmation. Guillaume Fortin has been dropped from the race session. Very unfortunate, because he was running so dominant in at least holding off that second place. It looked like he was kind of shaping up to it, go after Jake Watson, get his lead back, but unfortunately that's probably going to be the end of the night for the 13 machine. But now back in the field, still fighting for the 5th place. That's going to be Paul Henley fighting with it looks like McDuff and Hoyle, and looks like Hoyle is going to work the inside line and going to get the position. And now the 20 of Justin McDuff, he's going to try to throw it up the inside through turns 3 and 4. He's got a bit of grip there on the inside, and while we were kind of talking about Guillaume, Matt Kocher did make it past the 16 on, I think that he may have worked the outside and got a good run off of him, and now McDuff is going to get past the 16.
As Kelly, I'm watching your leader right now. The 88 of Jake Watson has kind of pulled about a half second on the 24 of Sean Cool, but also now the 88 and the 24 are both dealing with lap down cars, lap traffic, as these guys are battling to stay in front of the leader in case a caution would happen to come out. But so far, 40 laps in, green flag racing, so these guys are having to deal with the traffic. It looks like pretty much everybody, though, is being pretty respectful driving out there, and they're just kind of letting the leader go to the inside, have his way, go right around me. I want nothing to do with the deciding who's going to be leading this race.
Well, unfortunately now the 88 is going to be caught up in a bit of a battle. It looks like the 3, the 413, and that is also the 42 of Brett Bartels are all fighting for a position here. They're all fighting for that 20th spot, and that's going to hold up the 88 a little bit, and that's something that the 24 of Sean Cool is going to want to see.
Oh, Sean Cool into the wall.
A little bit of scrape off the wall, but now the 88 going to get to the inside of the 3. Looks like the 413 is going to pull up the track to allow him by as well. Now these lap cars are going to finally give up. Oh, it looks like the 3 wanted to still try to go after the 413. 3 wide, going to get into Sean Cool. John is going to hold on to it, but that's going to lose him a lot of ground to Jake Watson, and I'm sure he's not going to be too happy as he got bumped into by a lap down car. It looked like the 3 just wanted to try to get around the 413 as they were letting the leader by, and he wanted to just kind of sneak through there, but that unfortunately put them 3 wide, and 3 wide at a track like this, especially at this temperature, is not going to work out. As just lucky to be able to get away with that without getting a caution, as we're nearly halfway through this race. So everyone's seeing those laps tick down very quick and trying to make the most of the time they've got.
As you saw, a great save there by the 24, Sean Cool. Unfortunately, that's going to drop Sean Cool from being right on the heels of the 88 of Watson, now being about a 1.5 second gap interval to the leader. That's going to bring the 18 of AJ Hamels even closer, though, to Sean Cool. Does AJ have anything left in the tank? Was he saving tires in the early on 47 laps here of the race? Can he catch the 24? Or is lap traffic going to play more havoc with the 88? Is Sean Cool going to be able to catch him? We don't know.
Well, AJ's still got a deficit of 1.3 seconds that he's got to make up over Sean Cool. As AJ's had his own struggles with his lap traffic, and he's been slowly losing time to Sean and Jake. And Jake now starting to work through his traffic very well. There's some problems on the inside there. That would look like the 30 and the 22 of Holtzclaw and Dravicki, and don't know what happened there, but now Dravicki's 2 laps down. Holtzclaw is 9 laps down, so those cars did encounter some problems at some point. Looked like Holtzclaw was wanting to get to pit road to maybe fix up some damage he had, but now we've got cars just scattered all over the racetrack.
Now it looks like the 69 trying to battle through there, but now let's go on board with the 96 of Al Smith. As you see, he is battling with Brian Rogers, he got around Brian Rogers now, so Al's in that 12th position, just kind of hanging out there. Nobody right in front of him immediately, just trying to save the tires, get back to the top 10.
But he also has to keep in mind he's got the 12 and the 31 right behind him. So Al, after having that slide early on that lost him a lot of ground and probably overheated his tires for a little bit, looks like he's now got himself on the right track though. He's got his car's looking stable, and it's starting to look a little bit faster than it did earlier, and he's now starting to very slowly shave down the time to the number 77, Andy Lambert, but I think he still has to hope for maybe a mistake from Lambert to be able to catch up to him.
Your big mover through the race here still going to be the 69 of Matt Kocher, as he started in the 11th position, now running 4th. Kind of looks like he's about a second and a half behind AJ Hamill, so nobody directly in front of him for him to race, but he is your big mover so far through the race here as he's up to 4th place.
Yeah, Jake Watson still carving his way through the lap traffic to be able to hold on to his lead. Sean Cool just kind of sticking around a second and a half back, and Sean's struggling a little bit more with the lap traffic, as the lap traffic will let the leader by, but then kind of forget the rest of the field is trying to chase down the leader, and will try to go back to their battles while there's still a few lead lap cars trying to get by them. But now Sean Cool trying to get around the number 1 of Jeremy Carpenter, who's also got Danny Dubuque right in front of him. Looks like Jake Watson now trying to work around the 70 car of Dylan Canova. And Jake has got just a lot of lap traffic between him and Sean Cool now.
The next guy that's going to be on the 88's radar, that's going to be the 11 of Brian Hacker. Brian Hacker holds down the 15th position right now. Not battling anybody as the 88's coming quick for him. Let's see what happens here between the 88 and the 11. Will the 11 just give way and let the leader by? That seems to be the song and dance as the 11's loose off turn 2 right in front of the leader. That could have been a situation, a huge situation with Watson right there.
Battle for 5th starting to shape up between Rex Hoyle and the 20 of Justin McDuff, with a little bit of lap traffic involved in there. That's John Minyaka just trying to stay out of their way at this point. And now McDuff about 0.3 of a second off, and he's also got Marinac not too far back away from him. So McDuff trying to put some pressure on Rex Hoyle, trying to get himself into the lead lap, or into the top 5 and into a little bit of contention here for a good points haul, and trying to not lose any ground to Matt Kocher, who's kind of shaped up to be his championship rival after the first 2 races, as those guys have traded 1st and 2nd place over the opening rounds. But now Kocher sitting in 4th while McDuff sits in 6th, so McDuff trying to at least gain some ground towards Kocher at this point in the time.
A little deeper in the field, it looks like there's a battle brewing for the 9th and the 10th position. Blake Muir in the 14, he's in your 10th position. The 16 car of Paul Henley, he's got 9th. Blake has ran him down, but once Blake gets there, it seems like Blake just cannot find a way around him. He's tried the outside, he's tried the inside, and just nothing's been working for the 14.
Going back to that battle for 5th, Justin McDuff was just on the bumper of Rex Hoyle through turns 3 and 4, backed off a little bit as they kind of got themselves involved in some traffic with a 13, and now looks like the 42 of Brett Bartels. Now Rex Hoyle kind of stuck on that inside for the entry of turns 1 and 2, and that's going to give a bit of a better corner for the 20, but now actually the 20 couldn't track out all the way because now he caught up to the 42, so that's kind of going to cancel out the advantage. So they're still just trying to battle with each other while also battling with these lap cars, as the time is ticking away fast as these laps go by very quickly. Big mistake though for the 20. He got loose coming out of turn number 2, nearly got into the wall, and now just trying to hold on to his position though. As actually that was Guillaume Fortin trying to gain whatever ground he can, salvage whatever points he can after losing connection earlier on.
While that all happened right there in front of the 98 of Chris Stump. Chris Stump got a piece of the wall himself, so now there's heavy front right damage to that machine, as he's just trying to hang on at this point. trying to see what he can, or if he can catch back up to the 2 of Stefan Miranak to try and gain another position. Up front, though, it looks like the 88 is just kind of running away right now. He has set sail on the 24 of Sean Cool. Sean Cool now back to, is still running currently in your second position. He's almost all but 2 seconds behind your leader of Jake Watson as he's just carving his way through the lap traffic. The next guy on his radar is going to be the 31 of Brad Carpenter.
Battle for third place shaping up between AJ Hamill and Matt Kocher. Matt is continuing his charge towards the front after starting 11th. He's up in 4th now, challenging for 3rd, all over the bumper of the 18 and just putting his car in the rear view mirror, completely filling up the rear view mirror of the 18 machine. But AJ Hamill at this moment is not phased, still running his line, hitting his mark and focusing on his race. Going a little bit high through turns 3 and 4, and that's probably to keep it into the slightly cooler parts of this racetrack. Is that inside line close to the white line at the bottom is probably heated up. It looks like it's actually getting covered in marbles at this point in time. So it looks like the point to be is maybe just 1 car width up. Is now diving to the inside as Matt Kocher trying to make it work, but gets loose on that bottom side as the grip has completely fallen away on the inside.
As you see, most of the cars running about the car length and a half up off that white line now, but the 69 of Matt Kocher, he's still trying to make that inside work as he wants to get around the 18 of AJ Hamels because he knows that's 3rd position. He knows that's a couple more points in the bank for the 69. Just not able to find a way around him right now. He's just been working over that back bumper. Currently now just going to slot in line, try and get another rhythm and make another run at the 18. As you see, the 18 and the 69 both running 2 completely different lines as the 18 runs the outside and the 69 still trying to make that inside lane work. Just not working out right now.
Yeah, that inside line might just be a little bit too warm. Too many cars running over that line and heating it up. And we've already mentioned that this track is very hot. We're up to 133 now degrees Fahrenheit after all these cars have run over this track, and just they're just absolutely cooking their tires at this point in time. So I'm sure there's a few drivers hoping for a caution and just hoping that they can have a moment to cool off their tires. And I think after Kocher dove it on the inside of the 18, he slid his tires a little bit. Oh, actually getting a good bit of a run and getting into the back bumper of the 18 as they're trying to actually deal with some lap traffic now on the outside. This is the 70 of Dylan Canova, and now Hamill's going to have to worry about getting past the 11 of Hacker. And we saw Hacker get loose in front of our leader a few laps ago, and I think Hamill's going to hope for at least a clean pass here.
As laps are winding down, what does the 69 have in the bank for the 18? He seems to be the quicker car, just no way around him. But out front, it's still the 88 of Jake Watson. He's out in front of Sean Cool by a 1.5 second lead. So Sean Cool's kind of came back to the 88, but lap traffic's playing a big problem here for the 88 of Jake Watson. I've been watching him for quite a few laps here, and lap down cars that are trying to stay in the top 10.
Oh, Kocher to the outside, nearly going 3 wide. Sorry to step over you there, but he nearly tried to push it 3 wide with the 11 of Brian Hacker as he made a move to the outside. In the second he made that move, the 18 of AJ Hamill threw it to the inside of the 11 to try to use the 11 as a bit of a pick there. And Kocher thought for a moment of going 3 wide up the middle, but decided to back out and make an attempt at this pass later on.
But that is still your battle for the 3rd and the 4th position, as this is pretty much your battle as you see a car behind them get into the wall. Not sure who it was, but he saves it. He gathers it up. 69 now trying the outside lane, trying to get some momentum, trying to catch back up to AJ Hamels. Laps are winding down here. He wants that 3rd position from AJ. Is he going to be willing to, as you see the 69 in the wall there, trying to get as much as he can out of that car.
Just a step behind them, though. That's a battle for 5th place. Rex Hoyle and Justin McDuff still going at it as McDuff has taken a peek to the inside a couple times now, trying to find where there's any grip left on this racetrack to get around the 5. He's going to take a look to the inside, dive it down on the inside of turns 3 and 4. Going to be able to hold on to that car, unlike a few others that have tried that move at this stage of the race. And I think he's just saved his tires just a little bit more. He is able to make that work because there's a car in front of them in the wall. It looks like the 22 kind of rode the back straight wall, and now Justin McDuff is going to make the pass happen. He's going to take control of 5th place, and if he has any time left, I don't think there's much left, but he's going to maybe make an attempt at Kocher, and looking back at this battle between Kocher and Hamill, looks like Kocher maybe just scraped the wall once more as he's still trying to go after Hamill and just pushing as hard as he can because he knows there's only about 13 laps left in this race, and how short this track is, those laps are ticking by fast.
The laps are winding down quick here from Southern National. As that 69, I've been watching him as we were watching that battle between Rex and McDuff. But I've been watching and keep my eye on the 69. The 69 has just about used up every inch of that right side of the car. Every time coming off the corner, trying to get every little bit he can. And he is getting every little bit he can. And that right side of that car is pretty hammered at this point.
Hopefully it is just bodywork damage and hasn't damaged anything underneath, because if you tear up the bodywork, it doesn't matter on a track like this. As long as you've got that running gear and that suspension all pointed in the right direction, you should be okay. But it is definitely possible to bang up that right front and push it in a little bit or mess up the toe, and that could put a hamper on your race. But Kocher still seems to be okay with the damage he has right now. Just maybe scraped the car up a little bit, maybe pushed in a little bit of the bodywork, but it doesn't look like he's damaged anything vital as he's still chasing down that 18 machine. They've got a lot of traffic to work with. There's not a lot of real estate. Oh, caution out. It looked like the back straight. Yeah, it looks like James McIntyre Jr. in the 81 machine spun it in the middle of the back straight. It looks like it started with him coming off of turn number 2, way down on the racetrack. Looks like he got into the marbles.
We're going to go to our MaxSpeedTV replay here and just break down exactly what happened to James McIntyre in the 81. You see him get into turns 1 and 2 here, get down on the bottom, touch the apron, and really lock it down and make a little bit of contact with the inside wall. So nothing too much, not that big of a deal for him. He did lose a lot of track position, but he'll be able to keep going.
Well, while we have a moment, we'd like to get a big shout out to our race sponsor, Hanson Starter Shop. They rebuild and repair alternators, generators, and starters, and also carry some new ones. So with 30 years of business in upstate New York, Hanson Starter Shop is the place to go if you have starter trouble.
Well, with only a handful of laps here left at Southern National, we're going to take a quick break, but you don't want to go away. You don't want to miss anything. Laps are winding down. It's going to be an exciting finish between the 88 of Jake Watson and the 24 of Sean Kuhl.
This portion of the Upstate Racing League's Coach's Corner Pro Late Model Series on MaxSpeedTV is brought to you by NHR, Eddie's Meat Market, Devil's Bowl Speedway, Vermont's fastest half mile, Atomic Graphics,
Well, welcome back to Southern National Motorsports Park for the Hanson Starter Shop 100 as we're getting ready for our last go at this race. Looks like we're going to have, I think, maybe 6 laps. No, I think we might even have 4 laps to go when we go green next time. And now there's going to be no traffic ahead. Jake Watson is going to be right up with, or Sean Kuhl is going to be right up with Jake Watson. And it also brings in Kocher and Hamill as we're going to get ready to go, I think, next time by. So that actually is going to bring us down to 3 to go on the next start. And this is going to be an absolute shootout as now these drivers are going to have a bit of time to cool off their tires and actually watch the drivers on the high side. They were able to run on the higher part of the surface of the track, which means not many people have run there. It's going to be a little bit cooler. Their tires might be cooler, so might be a bit of an advantage for them. Pace car down and away. We're going to get ready to run this to the end, and Jake Watson's going to get a good start, get a bit of a bump from the 18. Sean Kuhl, though, on his outside, going to try to keep with him, though, for the race lead. Door-to-door down the back straightaway, a battle for the race lead.
Sean Kuhl looks like he has the momentum off the outside, but the 88's going to fight back. The 88 slides up just a little bit coming off the corner. Who has it this time at the line? The 24, Sean Kuhl's going to go to the point. What's going to happen here? They're door-to-door still, but right there, the 69. Oh, the 24 sideways off the corner. Can he hang on it? Looks like the 24's drifting around the corner. 24 hangs on to it. That's going to give the race lead to the 88 of Watson. AJ Hamill's now in second, and the 69 of Kocher in third.
White flag in the air for the final, going around the racetrack for the final time. It's going to be Jake Watson through turns 3 and 4. AJ Hamill not going to have enough. Sean Cool still getting bumped around and sideways, but Jake Watson going to win the Hanson Starter Shop 100 in really an exciting fashion.
What an ending to this race here. The battle between the 88 of Watson and the battle between the 24 of Cool. That was one crazy ending, as the 24 just had no grip off the off the top side, put it in the wall, got into the 88, and then just continued to fall through the field, bouncing off everybody as a pinball.
Yeah, just really not the ending you want to see for the 24 machine, but Jake Watson battled him hard, battled him fairly clean, well, as clean as you can get at a track like this and a temperature like this, but Jake Watson really dominating fashion. I think nearly 90 laps led for him, as he didn't start in the first. He started all the way back in third, was able to make some quick moves early on, get the lead within the first 10 laps, and really just never looked back from there. So just some great drive from Jake Watson, and we'll catch up with him just after the break. But so don't go anywhere. We're going to go, when we return, we will be going into our post-race show. So you're watching the Hanson's Starter Shop 100 for the Upstate Racing League Coach's Corner Pro Late Model Series.
This portion of the Upstate Racing League's Coach's Corner Pro Late Model Series on MaxSpeedTV is brought to you by Rumar Vinyl Designs. Let us get stuck on you. Lightning Strikes Pro Shop and Hanson's Starter Shop.
MaxSpeedTV would like to thank our partners here at MaxSpeedTV, starting with the Colby Eye Paints. If you're in the market for a new paint job for your car, check out Colby's Eye Paints on Facebook. Need a replica paint of your real-life car? Colby's Eye Paints has you covered. Check out Colby Eye Paints on Facebook. Also by Hershey Design. Hershey Design Company is your one-stop graphics shop. If you're in need of an iRacing paint, league, team, or business logo, or want the logo on some sweet swag, hit up Orion at the Hershey Design Company. You can find them on Facebook by searching HERSHY Design Company. Also by the Sim Speed Shop, simspeedshop.com. You can check them out for all your iRacing sim needs. Ohio IndyCar League jumping on board this season with as an official sponsor of MaxSpeedTV. They are also accepting not just patrons from Ohio, but from all over. Also, iBog for all your iRacing broadcast overlay graphics done specifically by Jason Allison, one of the masters at it. So thank you to Jason. And also, last but not least, Wise Guys. You can check them out at Reverb Nation. That is spelt with a Z. So check them out on Reverb Nation. We would like to thank all of the sponsors at MaxSpeedTV and partners.
Welcome back to Southern National Motorsports Park, where we just wrapped up a fantastic race, which ended up being pretty much dominated by the number 88. And we're going to take a quick moment to get a word with him. So now speaking with the driver in the number 88 machine, Jake Watson. Jake, are you there?
Yep.
Now, Jake, this was, I think, probably at least looked like one of the hardest tracks to drive for the whole season tonight. Is it looked like you guys were just slipping and sliding all over the place. But how did you keep control of your race car here?
I honestly don't know. This is definitely not one of my most favorite tracks. We just played it safe, kept the fenders on it, and I wasn't really hoping for a win, but you know, that's what we came out with.
Well, you pushed ahead early on, and it looked like for a while that you were just going to cruise off to victory, but then you started to catch the lap traffic. What was it like trying to deal with the pretty much sea of cars you had out there?
It wasn't too bad. They were all respectful. They all gave me a lane, and you know, it was somewhat tough, but we made it work.
Well, you had a huge lead until within the last 10 laps. We had the caution flag fly. So what were you thinking when you were kind of going around the racetrack on at pace speed, getting ready for that shootout at the finish?
Just pretty much keep the fenders on it, hope for a top 3, because I know I burnt up my stuff since probably like lap 10. So You know, we just had to play it safe and hope for the best.
Well, the best certainly happened to you as you took home the win, and now looking forward to the rest of the season. Is there any tracks that kind of stick out in your mind that you're looking forward to?
Definitely Martinsville. We had a lot of success there last year in this series, and we're hoping to keep that going.
Well, before we let you go, Jake, we're going to give you a moment to take the microphone and thank whoever you wish to thank for this fantastic run here you had tonight.
CN Chassis Works, Clutch Graphics, and everyone that puts on this show at URL.
I will thank you, Jake, for taking the time to talk with us. That's Jake Watson, driver of the 88 machine and winner of the Hanson Starter Shop 100.
Thank you.
And now I think Roger has caught up with the driver of the 18 machine.
That's right, Kelly. I do have the driver of the 18 machine, AJ Hamels. AJ Hamels, you started in that 4th position and you battled all night, slipping and sliding through this narrow track. The track temps over 120 degrees at one point. How did you bring that 18 machine home in the 2nd position?
Very carefully, I think. Literally.
Very carefully, as we do see that car looks still pretty pristine. It does not look like you spent 100 laps out here on a short track. Tell us about the track temp. Was it hot and slick out there for that 18?
Yeah, you know, it's weird. It wasn't like hot and loose. It was like just there's no grip. So Highline came in kind of early, which was nice. A little cooler up there, so you could get a good run off the corner. And once I realized I didn't have the speed for the 24 and the 88, I was just trying to save my stuff and watch Matt get closer and closer in the mirror, and just hope I could hold him off.
Yeah, as you say, you didn't have the speed for the 88 or the 24. You still brought the 18 home in 2nd. Were you worried that if we stayed green there, the 69 was going to have enough, because he was flying through the field all night?
That's a constant worry. It keeps me up at night, every night during the URL. If I'm in front of Matt, I'm worried that he's coming to get me, because he's real good, as you've seen. I was doing a decent job holding him off, probably chopped his nose a couple times, but I couldn't give up the podium spot, and I was holding on. I was going to at least make him work for it, and I was worried about the yellow, and he would have got me on the yellow, but got right lane at the right time when the front two got together, and snuck by for this nice 2nd place.
Yeah, what was your point of view there on that restart when the 88 and the 24 of Watson and Cool were battling? Did you think something like that was going to happen? If so, were you ready to pounce and see maybe possibly get around the 88?
Yeah, you always gotta think that could be a possibility. Those two very fierce competitors going for a win, 4 laps to go, and you can run side by side here. You can hang it out there. So, you know, Sean's going for the win. And I don't even know what happened. I was kind of looking at Matt out to my right and just trying to hang on for 3rd or 4th. And luckily, I put my eyes to the front at the right time to see them get together, and went to the bottom, and the track was clear.
Well, you were clear there for that wreck. You brought that number 18, the Toyota, home in the 2nd position. That's going to be your first 2nd place of the year here for Empire Racing. You got any shout-outs or any sponsors on that number 18 that you'd like to thank for tonight?
Oh, absolutely. That's my first podium since 2000, 2 seasons ago. Last year didn't go so well, so pretty happy with that one. I got to thank my Empire Racing teammates, Justin McDuff, Stefan Marinac, and Chris Stump, and Arts Barbershop, SLC, Al Smith for putting this thing together, Hanson Starter Shop. Congrats to Jake, and thanks you guys up in the booth.
Well, not a bad night at all for the 18 of AJ Hamels. He brought that 18 machine home in the 2nd place. Didn't have anything left in the tank for the 88 of Watson, but a 2nd place finish. Not a bad night. Kelly, I believe you possibly have caught up with the 69.
Yeah, should be here with the 69 of Matt Kocher. Matt, you got yours on?
Yes, sir.
Well, Matt, you come home in 3rd place after starting once again way back in the field. So how did you manage to, I think you passed probably the most cars, or at least up there with some of the most cars, but how did you manage to weave your way through this field where it seemed like everyone else was having difficulty making passes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more the right line at the right time. I mean, just running the bottom there at the beginning, I think we got up to 7th or so from 11th. just from being on the bottom on the initial start, and then from there it was just trying to get my nose in places where it shouldn't have been. And once it was there, it was there. And if they came down, they were getting the fender or not. I mean, this track was just terrible to race on. I mean, yeah, you could run two by or side by side, but you really couldn't get to the outside of somebody if they were in front of you. You couldn't get to the inside because then the outside would prevail. So I mean, I was really hoping for a caution all night long to try and bunch us back up, and then with only 4 laps to go, a caution that late in the race, it's no good for trying to go for a win because the guys up front are going to battle and they could always wreck into you. And I mean, what happened with Jake and Sean is just unfortunate. I mean, Sean really, I thought he had him, but hey, it's racing. I was going to try and stick my nose in there, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to ride here and try and stay in front of Justin, try to make up some points. And I think I made up 1 point tonight. So 1 point, I'm still 2 back in the point standings then.
Yeah, once again, you started 11th with Justin in 12th and Steph in 13th. I think every week now you guys have started in at least basically back-to-back and then finish again back-to-back. So now, like you said, I think you may be only 1 or 2 points behind. But does that shift your strategy at all for the rest of the season?
No, I think for the rest of the season, I mean, I'm here to win races. That's what I'm going out to do. I ain't here to try and points race. I want to win. That's where it's all about. I mean, we don't come out here to points race. We do that, then you're not having fun anymore. So I mean, I always come out and try to win, and the points are just a plus on it. So that's what we're here for.
Well, considering you won the championship last year, I think just focusing on wins and ignoring the points still ends up working out for you.
Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see.
Well, we got a bit of an off week ahead of ourselves before we head into the next race, but that next track up on the schedule there, we're going off to, I believe it is Lanier. So what is going to be your strategy in 2 weeks' time?
Man, I just hope to qualify better. I mean, I feel like some of these races, I'm losing them because my qualifying sucks. I don't know what to do. Everything I try is it's terrible. And I don't know if it's because I'm going last in the thing because we're higher up in points, and that's where we got to qualify is towards the back. I mean, I wish it was like Bowman Gray Stadium where the top point guy qualifies first, but here at URL it's not. So I mean, hopefully we can get a better qualifying run at Lanier, and if we do, we can be up front and try to get another win.
Well, thank you very much for coming to talk to us, Matt. But before we let you go, we're going to give you the microphone and who you wish to thank for this 3rd place finish tonight.
I thank Team Vince here, Globalcom, iAnalyze. I got to thank Turn 3 Auto Transporter and thank you guys for putting on this awesome broadcast, and Al Smith Jr. and all the guys who put on this show behind the scenes at Upstate Racing League.
Well, thank you very much for coming out and talk to us, Matt, and hopefully in a couple weeks' time we'll see you again.
Alrighty, I hope so.
Well, that was Matt Kocher, driver of the number 69 machine and our 3rd place finisher tonight. And Roger, I think we had a very great race, and we didn't have too many on-track battles really throughout the entire race because everyone was kind of single file to deal with this track temperature. But I think those battles that we did have were really exciting, and the caution that came out towards the end just made this race an absolute fantastic race.
Yeah, we had a great race out here despite the track temperatures being, 116 at the start of the race, and I believe spiking at around 126 degrees in the middle of the race. You saw the groove start at the bottom of the track and then move towards the top. So we saw racing, in the early goings with fresh tires, guys being able to hold the bottom, but then that groove just working too much heat in, too much rubber onto it, and it moved up. We didn't see, like you said, too many battles, but the battles we did see, they were vicious. We saw a couple guys into the outside wall and pretty much save their cars. We had only 1 caution here tonight for 6 laps. That was at the end with about 10 to go that caution came out. So all clean sailing till under 10 to go and brought out that 1 caution.
Yeah, as you're mentioning, just 1 caution after, and you said you saw, I think, high 120s. I think one time I glanced at the track temperature. It might have been 133 if I remember correctly, and that is insanely hot. And considering how little grip these cars would have had at that point in time, it's amazing that they only got away with only 1 caution. And we saw a couple good drivers get extremely loose, and only one of them completely lost it and went around. And It just goes to show the level of skill here on this racetrack, and just also the kind of the competitive spirit is none of these guys really want to race each other too hard. Nobody wants to just dump a guy going into the corner. Well, really until you get within that last couple laps where they're going to give the bump and run. But everyone keeps it pretty clean and just puts on for a great show. And I'm really looking forward to 2 weeks' time at Lanier, as it's another really short, really small track like this one.
Yeah, we're going to see some great battles from Lanier. Lanier is a little bit smaller than this, not as much banking, so it's going to put on one heck of a show with these guys. If they were able to battle out here with the track temp the way it was tonight, they're going to be able to put on one heck of a show in 2 weeks' time.
Well, that's going to... Well, we're going to take a look at our final finishing positions here. Jake Watson brings home the win with AJ Hamill in second place. Matt Kocher rounds out our podium in third. Justin McDuff finishes fourth. The number 2 of Steck Marinac in fifth. Sweet Stuff Sean Cool finishes in sixth. Rex Hoyle in seventh. Chris Stump comes home in eighth. Al Smith Jr. finishes ninth. The 14 of Blake Neer rounds out our top 10. Brian Rogers Jr. finishes 11th. 12th goes to the 16 of Paul Henley. Andy Lambert finishes 13th, the last car on lead lap. Brad Carpenter comes home 14th, and 15th goes to the 70 of Dylan Canova.
Coming home in your 16th place, that's going to be the number 11 of Brian Hager. Coming home in 17th to 61 of Danny Dubuque. The 18th position, that's going to go to the 42 of Brett Bartels. The number 1 of Jeremy Carpenter is going to come home in the 19th. And rounding out your top 20, that's going to be the 413 of Wayne McDuff. Coming home in the 21st position, that's going to be the 45 of Doug Wysocki. Coming home in the 22nd position, the 3 of John Manaka. Coming home, or bringing the 81 machine home in the 23rd position, that's going to be James McIntyre Jr. The 30 of Will Dravecki, we saw him early on track having some great battles, but 24th for that guy right there. The 13 of Guillaume Fortin, going to bring home the 13 machine, the 25th position, rounding out your field here tonight from the guys who started. 26th position is going to go to the 22 of Mike Holtzclaw.
Well, that's going to pretty much do it for us here at MaxSpeedTV, and we hope you enjoyed this presentation. I'm sure we all enjoyed this race, and hopefully we will see you in 2 weeks' time at Lanier. So on behalf of Roger Muth and KR Stolfus and everyone else at MaxSpeedTV, we would like to thank you very much for coming and watching this race with us, and we hope to see you next time.
The Upstate Racing League hopes you enjoyed this broadcast on MaxSpeedTV, and we thank you for your continued support.